What's going on? Episode 13, Ball Babble podcast, grand final week.
Exciting.
Let's fucking go.
How good. Looking forward to it. So, as always, brought to you by TipTitans, best in the business. So get around them. They've been on fire in the AFL finals.
Going alright, have they?
Joel Williams is killing it. He's up about 15, 20 units just in the finals alone.
Let's go.
Yeah, get around him. The NBA package comes out soon, so make sure you jump on board. So let's go straight into AFL. Let's dissect the last week's game.
So we got Friday night.
Let's go Friday night. Pies over the Giants by a point.
And I'm doubling down. Finals football
It's gross.
is shit house.
It was really ugly.
It's not a good watch. It's good because it's close and it's tense. But
Yeah.
it's shit football.
Yeah, someone said to me the other day, it was a cracker game, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, I had that as well. I was like, would you enjoy the teams just kicking the ball to each other?
I was like, but it was close. I was like, yeah, well, so was Auskick, but it's
Yeah.
not good to watch.
Nah, like it's good from an excitement point of view, but it's average football.
Yeah, and I thought Friday night was one of the worst. Like,
Yeah.
Collingwood didn't look very good. They looked super rusty. The Giants had a couple of good patches. I mean, the Pies had one good patch in the third quarter. Apart from that, it was
Well, they
pretty
kicked the
ugly.
first two, I reckon, and I thought as soon as they kicked those early ones, like the crowd was in it.
That's the loudest I've heard a crowd in a while. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I definitely thought it was. I thought it was over pretty much there and then.
I was pretty similar. I thought it was going to be really hard for the Giants to come back with that crowd, momentum of the Pies, fresh legs after a week off. But to their credit, they came back and I think they kicked the next four. Didn't let Collingwood kick a goal until the third quarter where they got a bit of a run on. But yeah, it was a really weird game. I thought the Giants probably controlled most of it from, I guess, that first two goals, the first 6 minute onslaught.
They were probably the better team.
I think they definitely were the better team.
Yeah.
I don't think Collingwood is they're pretty lucky to be playing in a granny.
Well, that's two games. Melbourne, we thought Melbourne probably should have won, and I reckon the same in this GWS game.
Yeah.
But that's what good sides do, though, is they just find a way to win, and Collingwood have been able to do it.
Yeah, and they had a couple of guys really step up. I thought Geordie DeGoey was massive.
Couldn't get on the ground.
He couldn't get on the ground. Yeah, you know why? Nick Dacos was the guy that was supposed to come off for him, and he did not want to come off.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, he can play, but gee, he loves getting a kick more than most, I reckon. So that was something I did notice.
That would have been some interesting viewing. If
they
Collingwood lost.
Yeah, because you needed to go out there. He was the best player on the ground by a mile. He was winning clearance. And Dacos, he had 28, but he looked really rusty, and he didn't really hurt him.
No.
But yeah, I guess the thing for me was that the Giants just didn't capitalise when they did go inside 50. They couldn't get scoreboard pressure on. And then they just couldn't get 3 or 4 in a row when they really needed to in that third quarter when Collingwood came at them. And then in the last quarter, they probably dominated most of the last quarter. They just couldn't get anything.
Which was the complete opposite from the week before against Port.
Yeah, exactly.
Scoring so freely just because of their ball use. But
yeah,
Collingwood managed to turn it into a shit fight. And
yeah, credit to Collingwood. They're going through the granny and they haven't played great footy. So, I mean, it's really positive for them.
What are your thoughts on the Dacos tackle? Anything you thought should have been, if it wasn't a grand final, was he getting a week?
I think the thing that helps him is that Pendlebury's holding Daniel's arm.
Yeah.
It definitely should have been a free kick, going on what we've seen.
Happy for him to get off though?
I'm happy for him to get off on that, yeah.
Me too.
I think because he was almost on his knees when he tackles him. There's a bit of an action there, but I don't think it's worthy of a week.
No, I think that's fair.
Whilst we are on the umpires, I know I'm a neutral and I was kind of going for GWS, but I thought they let so much go. Too much.
The whistle got put away.
And I thought the whistle got put away and a lot of the non-calls were against GWS. They should have had a few extra free kicks. I think Toby Green got decapitated. Then he also got his leg ripped off.
There was one early in the game where, I cannot remember, somebody got caught high, they didn't call it, and then went down the other end and Collingwood got the high
Yeah,
free
I'm pretty sure that was Toby Green.
Was that Toby Green?
Dacos took him high. There was a Callum Brown one. Oh no, an Iden one in the last quarter where he's completely took his head off and no free kick. So I thought it was you were like, oh, well,
Every one of those though, every single one of those, the player that's got the footy leans in head first.
Not the Iden one. That was a genuine free kick in the middle of the ground.
It's hard because it happens so much during the game that you don't call a few of them. And I actually love the fact that the highest didn't get called when guys went didn't drop to their knees but drop lower and try to run through the contact and get a free. I love it when the umps don't pay it.
I don't mind if the umpire says you've led into it or you ducked, but they didn't say anything. They just didn't pay it because they wanted to put the whistle away. And I'm fine with them putting the whistle away, but for 23 weeks of the year, we've seen them blow their whistle happy, go on nuts as free kicks deciding games end.
I just like the whistle being put away.
So do I, to a point, but people just get so frustrated if you just let everything go. You've got to pay some things.
Never going to get everybody happy, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But massive congrats to the Pies. So they go into the GF and they come up against the Brisbane Lions, who are going to have to go away from the Gabba.
The best two teams.
The best two teams are playing in the granny, which is good to see.
It is.
Over the 23 rounds, they were clearly the best two.
Yeah. It made me think of NBA, you have all the drama in the postseason last year, Miami just coming from nowhere, big teams failing, and at the end of the day, Denver was just the best team and they won it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this final series was kind of the same. We thought there was so many contenders, but at the end of the day, it's Collingwood,
it's the best
Lions.
Two. Yeah. No, we go up to the Gabba and the Blues, they come firing out the blocks. They kick the first 5. I think it's probably halfway through the quarter. They're up 32-1, and you were like, hang on a second, is this the Lions again?
How quickly do you reckon you can refund or cancel a flight?
Because I reckon
you know a few customers we can ask?
It took them 2 goals, and they were like, nah, we're done. A couple of blokes are like, nah, we've seen it all before, it's happened. 2 goals, they were 3 goals up still, and nah, it's over, Brisbane are home, we won't win it. They were right, but just shows how little faith that they have in there.
That's just the thing with Brisbane, like we said, they just score so fast.
Yes, they do. And they were probably lucky to only be 5 goals down at that point.
Yeah,
Harris Andrews was a rock, and he was doing everything he could to keep them in it, and he did a really good job. And then Hipwood kicked that goal with about a minute to go in the first quarter. And you just knew that was a massive shot. If he misses that, their morale is so bad. They're so low. They go in and they're 5 goals down. They go in, they're just under 23 points down. All right, it's not that bad. We kicked the first one. We're only 3 goals down. And they did, and they just kept going and didn't concede another goal until the last quarter or third quarter.
I was really disappointed with Carlton's forwards. And not just lumping this on Curnow, who hasn't had a good final series.
Yeah.
But when Carlton were under the pump, especially in the second half, Carlton had a lot of numbers back in Brisbane's 50, so a lot of high hat kicks coming out.
Yeah.
And the Carlton forwards were behind every single time. Not just behind, they couldn't even get to the contest to compete.
Well, the amount of times Harris Andrews took marks in front,
uncontested.
Darcy Gardner was taking marks in front, they were just everywhere.
You just need to make a contest there just to help out your defence. If you can get a stoppage there, reset, go again.
Yeah.
But it
was coming straight
quick
back
relief for the defenders, and it just comes back in just as fast.
And I think the difference between Brisbane after that first probably 15, 20 minutes and the rest of the game was that they hit their targets but they also were willing to change lanes again. And as soon as they did get that intercept mark, they didn't just go back down the line. They'd come inside, then go fat side. Keaton Coleman did it really well.
He got a ball terror.
Had an absolute ripper game. Just set him up with his left foot, chopped him open. There was one kick I think he hit Calamarchi in the middle of the ground, and he just picked him out, and he just did 3 or 4 of those where he just kind of cut Carlton open. And
sure.
I think Vossi will be looking over the tape and saying, I shouldn't have put Doherty up to the stoppage. Shouldn't have let him go up and let Coleman be on his own, because it just hurt him. And Doherty didn't do enough with his touches to make that decision pay off for Carlton.
I think from a football spectacle, it's going to be a better grand final, Brisbane Collingwood.
Yeah.
Because I think if it's Collingwood Carlton, that is just a contested shit fight.
Yeah.
Lucky to score 50 points each, I reckon.
Yeah.
The way they've both been going.
Yeah.
From a spectacle point of view, obviously not like Collingwood would have been fucking unreal.
Yeah, the crowd noise would have been unreal.
But I think for the watch, it should be a better game of footy.
Yeah, and you could tell the Blues, I said last week, I thought they looked like they were kind of out on their feet against the Demons. And then again, they had nothing left in the tank. And you could tell, I don't know if Kerner was banged up or just cooked from a long year, but you could tell Cripps was. He had a huge, I don't know if you noticed last week as well, he had a massive pad on his ribs. And like, that wasn't just like a little bit of padding, that was like a lot. So he's obviously, he's probably got some broken ribs or something there. And Brisbane did a really good job of just shutting him out of the game. Neil and Dunkley on the footy just dominated stoppage after that first probably 10 minutes. And just, I think they won clearance by 15 or so in the end.
Yeah, pretty.
And that's Carlton's one wood.
It was a very mature performance from the Lions coming back into that game of footy.
Yeah, from 5 goals down.
Because that could just be all over there.
Yeah, and the Brisbane of 2 years ago probably does lose.
Yeah, they lose that game. I think they've had enough heartbreak over the last few years and enough experience in these big finals now.
Yeah.
That helped them massively.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good to see a couple of those Brisbane guys step up, and yeah, they got some guys that just go about their business and get the job done. I mean, you look at their highest possession getter was Jared Berry.
Yeah.
He had 24, and that was the highest, and then you had Dunkley and Neil. So yeah, I think Collingwood are going to have their hands full. Let's move into it. The preview. So like you said, team 1 and 2 in the granny. First time in a while, I would have thought. We don't usually get, and like the best 2 teams.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen often. And I think they're both, apart from Dan McStay going down.
Yeah, poor bloke.
Yeah, it would have been playing against his old team as well.
He's super important for him as well.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the only real injury concern. The Lions may get Jack Payne back, but I mean, Darcy Gardner did a really good job.
You can't drop him after that.
Like, he was awesome.
And they haven't got the massive...
Could have kicked the goal as well. Lincoln McCarthy robbed him on the line with about 2 minutes to go.
It was the right play though.
It was. He then milked about a minute.
Yeah.
Because his run-up was from about the centre square.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing. I was watching it with my partner and she was like, oh, bloody hogging the footy there, like stealing the one off him.
You just got to make sure of it.
But it just kills the clock. Like Carlton just zero chance of getting back into that game. Yeah. So smart play. Darcy Gardner probably should have got a goal.
Yeah. I think the big 2 ones for me are, can Brisbane tame the Gabba? The MCG. They cannot play the MCG so far, and their record there is really bad. Can they get over the hump here, like on the biggest stage? Are they going to I guess it's a whole different build up to what they're used to, so maybe that helps them.
I'm going them.
I'm going them too.
Yeah, I just think the way that they play and their ability to score in bunches.
That's my second point. Can the Pies kick a score to match the Lions?
That's why I sort of edge Lions in this, because I think Collingwood are going to really struggle to keep up
offensively
with them, especially with McStay out.
Yeah,
it does lead to we'll get into this in a little bit, my Smokey Norm Smith.
I think I know where you're going then.
Yeah, I just don't know if Collingwood can...
McStay out's massive.
Yeah, it really hurts the way they play.
Yeah, well, I mean, it means Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron are going to have to be forward quite a bit.
I fucking rate Cameron so highly.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know, I seem to have watched more Collingwood games this year than I've ever watched. He's a fucking good football player.
I mean, they still got my check. Yeah, Cameron is just all round.
Just unassuming, like, goes about it. Takes marks when you need. I don't know. There's something about him.
He's been a little bit quiet of late, but like on the goals front. So he's going to have to spend a little bit more time forward, and it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in. If they go small and I think they like Ginnivan as the sub. They've kind of stuck with that, and I think they'll keep that. But who do they bring in if they go tall? I don't know if they do. Maybe like a mid-size. Probably more of Collingwood.
I don't know. Is Ash Johnson available at the moment?
He's available, but I'm not sure. When he was playing, he was having 3 or 4 touches a game, just kind of non-existent, not really doing anything.
Let's get big Oscar Stain in.
The goody Saints boy, get around him.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do. I don't think they'll go like.
Maybe they go Jeremy Howe Ford.
That was what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, because that has worked in the past.
And it allows them to just bring in an offender, essentially.
Yeah, because Brisbane aren't super tall forward. They've got Danaher and Hipwood. So that's probably, you've got 2 good matchups already for them. You've got Darcy Moore and you've got Nathan Murphy. The most punchable face in football, I think, Nathan Murphy. But
he's a long way behind Tom Lynch, let me tell you.
Well, who goes to Charlie Cameron? Is it Isaac Quainer?
Yeah, I think he has to. I think he's probably the only one quick enough to go with him.
I actually thought they did a really good job on Charlie Cameron, but he could have kicked 6 goals. Like, he had a bad game and he could have kicked 6.
Yeah.
He missed a snap that he would normally kick because he
Did
should have kicked a drop punt.
Was that the one?
He kicked that left foot snap, which he could have done a drop punt, and then he was running into goal, bounced it, screwed the bounce up, and McGovern got him, and then he missed another one. Like, he easily could have had 6 goals, and he's had a bad day.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that he will only need 5-6 touches to improve.
And he kicks goals, like he can kick goals in quick succession.
Yeah. The only thing that hurts him is there's no country road played up there.
Genuine hurts Brisbane's.
Every time he kicks a goal, I have not seen him lose a centre clearance after he kicks a goal.
The whole crowd's music stops. Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, they're the really big ones for me because I think both teams are pretty good defensively. But yeah, is there going to be anyone that tags? Are they going to tag Lachie Neale? Just like maybe Pendlebury goes to him.
Who does Maynard take?
I think Maynard probably takes Rayner.
Yeah.
Probably a good matchup for him.
And probably get under him a little bit as well.
2 big bodies.
Bit of 2 ball. Yeah, 2 alphas going at it there for sure.
And because Rayner is one of those guys, similar to Cameron, he doesn't need a lot of touches to really break the game open. Like, he'll get the footy, break a tackle, kick long, and set him up. So, I reckon the stage is set for Big Joe. I reckon he didn't look like he had his head in the game on the weekend, but I reckon he's going to be ready.
He had one absolute corker in Zach Day game against Collingwood a few years back.
Yeah. And I reckon he's ready to go.
It's a tough matchup for Collingwood. Because Moore probably goes with him.
I think he has to.
I think he's too. He gets up and down too much for Murphy.
Yeah, I think he's too agile and too for that. So maybe Murphy has to go to Hipwood.
Yeah, the rat.
He's pretty agile as well. He actually is. To his credit, he's had a pretty
Don't give poor man's Rafael Nadal any credit.
He's been doing. I mean, he kicked that clutch goal when they needed it. So I wouldn't have backed him in any other year, but. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go into Norm Smith. So who are you taking to Norm Smith medal?
I got 2.
All right. That's allowed. Let's go.
Let's go Brisbane first.
All right. Brisbane first.
I have Danaher.
You got Danaher?
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. I just think I'm with you. As you was like before you said that, that was who I was thinking, and then I think we're on a similar page. Just set for a big one at the G. Seems like the type of bloke that. From all reports, has sort of like just stepped away from footy when not playing. Like, has zero interest in it. Lives up in the scrub.
Basically, doesn't have a TV or anything, does he?
Yeah,
doesn't check social media.
But the stage is set for him.
Yeah, he loves it. I've got a couple from Brisbane. I think I'm gonna go Hugh McCluggage.
Yeah, he was the other one. The other one I think is Rayner.
Yeah, I don't think he gets enough of it.
If he has 20 touches, they're going to be a good 20.
Yeah. I was tempted to go Harris Andrews because I think he is the type of guy that just can control the game. Like he is, but he has 15 marks. Like, because Collingwood play that style that suits him.
Tell me the last time a fullback won an Norm Smith though.
Yeah. Alex Rance would have been the only one with a chance. But yeah, I think Danaher and McCluggage are probably the 2. I mean, Neil's the obvious one, but it's not often that the best player wins it, unless you're Dusty.
That was always coming.
You can't do grand final week without going about Dusty 3 times.
If Collingwood win the grand final,
ooh,
Mason Cox is winning the Norm Smith.
Oh, come on.
Heard it here first.
Oh,
do you have first-hand experience couple of years ago against the Tigs.
He can't do it in grand final day though.
He did it against West Coast. He was dominant against West Coast in that grand final a couple of years ago. I don't know. It just seems it's out there.
He played a lot more on the ruck on the weekend.
This is my thinking though, is if they don't bring in a big forward and he's going to play more forward.
Yeah.
And like big contested marks in grand finals means so much.
Yeah.
And it's an out there pick, but
yeah. Collingwood, that's a tough one.
It's the goey.
I actually think it could be Josh Dacos.
Out on the wing.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be Nick.
Him and if Will McCluggage play on the wing with him.
I think they'll swap. I think they won't go head to head. I reckon
you don't reckon they'll shake hands at the start of the game? And
no, I think they'll be on opposite wings.
Yeah, probably smart because they both want to get them freed up.
Yeah, because I think both teams will want to go. Whether or not you have to switch one, although I think they'll put Barry onto Josh.
I think you need to put some attention into Josh. You don't want to let him just roam.
Yeah, but De Goey's probably the one. If he has another game like he did on Friday night.
And like Nick Dacos, obviously he'll have 30.
Yeah.
But De Goey's explosive clearances.
Yeah.
You know the one that I thought was actually good on the weekend that sort of turned back the clock early was old Iron front bum.
Yeah, Sidey, he's pretty good. He's had a really good year. Because last year he was poo.
He had shitloads of the footy in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Heaps of it.
He had a lot.
But yeah, he heard it here first. Mason Cox, if Collingwood win, he's going to kick 3 and have 8 marks and about 14 touches.
Okay, so I'm going Brisbane Lions to win, Hugh McCluggage, Norm Smith. And Tom, you got?
I got Brisbane and Danaher, Norm Smith.
Alright, well let's hope we're right. Really don't want Collingwood win. It was really good. One of our best mates is a Brisbane Lions fan. He didn't think he'd got a ticket. And then
about
1:30 today, he messages like, boys, I've got a ticket. Just got the email. So he's going over, which is really good for him. So hopefully they get a win up for him. It'd be nice.
That's such a good friend thing to say.
Yeah.
Because there's...
I'm more concerned about what happens though if they lose. That's the thing. So
yeah.
I need him to win because he'll be in Melbourne. There's no one to look after him.
When we said it's like, Phil, I hope your team wins a flag. I'm happy for you.
It's because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, but the other part of me is so jealous and just like, fuck you. Hope your team loses.
See, I'd say that about you.
Yeah, 100%.
And you would have said it about Richmond every time.
Not the Crows. I've never barracked for a team that hard in my life.
Oh, well, alright. Well, that's the granny wrapped up in a bow and looking forward to doing a review next week. So let's move on. We've got the Brownlow tonight. The night of nights. Who's your tip? We're having a look through the odds earlier. You got yourself a smoky.
Oh, I thought I did. But then, Neil's the one that just seems weird, like, is paying around like that $14 mark. So you've got Dacos is about $2.70-ish.
Yeah, $2.70.
Bond's $3.50-ish. Yeah. Butters $5. And about $6.50.
Yeah.
And then there's this big drop off too.
Yeah, it's Neil, Taranto,
and then
Goulden.
Dawson gets in there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Neil seems. I feel like I'll take Neil top 3 finish.
Yeah, paying about $3.
I think that's good value.
Yeah.
Dacos obviously going to be leading, and it's if anybody can catch him. I remember over the last few weeks of the minor rounds,
well, we tracked it.
Bont slowed down a lot.
Yeah, that was his chance, and I don't think he catches him. I don't think if it's.
I think there's only one bloke that can catch him. Butters. He had these weird games where he had. If he polls well in the first 15 games, like he has some quiet patches.
You need to go through and see who umpired him in the first ones and then who umpired him later.
Over that last month, like he had a lot of these like 28 touch games, 26, 30 touch games. Like
I think if he's going well, if he's going well early in those games where he played well,
if he proves that he gets votes,
I'd live bet him.
Because that's going to be the thing. Like he could just be out of the race because he's not polling early.
Which happens all the time with those guys. Like their first year, they play well, like really well. They don't get it until too late.
And I think like Petrarca, I don't know, I just watched a lot of games of the footy this year and thought he was pretty underwhelming. Or he played like a really good half.
Yeah, really good patch. We'd kick a few goals, and whether or not the umpires like that. I mean, Oliver was awesome, Gawn was awesome.
But Oliver wasn't there for a lot of it as well, which will help Petrarca.
But Gawn was awesome in that patch. When there was
at
no
the
Oliver,
end of the season.
Yeah, Gawn was really good, because that's when they finally ditched Grundy. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
No, I'm taking my boy.
Butters?
Yeah.
I think Dacos wins. I think he got that many.
Not.
But they love him. He's AFL star.
Cheap shit fucking touches. Get a fucking hard ball. I've seen that many times. He's moved out of the way of a contest.
Yep.
I dislike him so much.
Just going back on the grand final thing, I think you know where I'm leading. There's a guy from Brisbane that I can guarantee you, he doesn't care if he misses 6 weeks next year, he's going to run through Nick Dacos.
Is Mitch Robinson coming back?
It's Dane Zorko. He is going to be the most hated guy out there, even more than he already is, because I can guarantee you he lines up number 35 for Collingwood.
Oh, I like that.
And he'll do like a little dirty tackle, he puts his elbow in his head, puts his face in the mud. Guaranteed.
Is he coming straight off the line?
Not straight off the line. He'll do it when he's got the footy or like just after. Like he'll do it within play. He won't do it straight off the line. Matty Lloyd, Brad Silver.
All right, I've got another category we're jumping back to the grand final here. So we've got Norm and our winner.
Yeah.
Who's got the first monster hit of the grand final?
First monster hit.
Yeah.
Well, Cam Rayner.
I got Maynard.
Did you see Rayner on the weekend? He looked like he was trying to kill people.
He's a big boy.
When he tackled, it was rugby style.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, I mean Maynard and Rayner they're probably hurt each other.
If Brisbane get a hack kick forward out of the first stoppage,
yeah,
Maynard is hitting that ball with some serious pace. And if there's somebody in the way,
dark horse would be Josh Dunkley. Because when he hits you hard.
Alright, so who you got? You taking Rayner?
Taking Rayner.
We'll review that next week as well.
Yeah.
First big boom!
Alright, well that was pretty much the Brownlow wrap. Hopefully it's a good, nice, close count. Timmy Taranto might win it.
Fucking please though. Can't even get in the All-Australian team, man.
Robbed.
NBA. Some massive news.
Massive news.
There are stories for days.
Gee, Bleacher Report. My Bleacher Report must have gone off.
You didn't get Jose Alvarado's sprained ankle in training camp?
Nah, must have been.
LaMarcus Aldridge is thinking about joining the Spurs staff.
Staff. I thought you said he was coming back.
No, joining the staff. And this is my favourite one. This is when you know the news is really going. Markieff Morris claims Joker's going to get his. Fuck, there is nothing happening.
Yeah,
bit of Dame stuff, but like...
quiet. Yeah, we're working a few things behind the scenes for the preview. So obviously NBA doesn't start for... It's almost bang on a month right now. I reckon it's actually bang a month today.
Has the Ball Babble Fantasy NBA gone live yet?
Not live yet. I'm just doing a little mock-up. So look out this week. We'll be releasing the NBA Fantasy link.
It's going to be some pretty strict rules, I believe, and maybe some punishments, I think.
Yeah.
Week to week.
Tom's taking charge, so they'll probably last for about 2 weeks.
Like my NFL fantasy team.
And then we'll be done.
Nah,
but
NBA's where it's at.
How many teams we got? 16 teams in the fantasy league this year?
16 teams,
NBA? Yeah.
So a little bit more than the NFL.
Yeah.
So we'll get that filled up pretty quickly and then we'll get into a big draft like that.
Yeah, good fun. Alright, well let's go straight into the NFL now. Week 3 of the season.
The most important result happened today.
Yeah, so Tom and I, we were tied. Were we tied?
You were up 1.
I was up 1 going into the tips this week.
Sorry, no, I've been up 2.
You're up 2-0 overall.
You were up a tip going into the last match
going
today.
into the last match that counted because we got the same tips next
for
tomorrow's game. And yeah, the Raiders.
Let's go, my boy.
The Raiders just turned to absolute poo, and Jimmy G threw picks left, right, and centre, and the Steelers end up winning. So he's up 2-0-1.
I like that a lot.
And winless. But it's ugly.
Pretty ridiculous week of NFL.
This was a big week of upsets. So
hit who's your surprise or surprises of the week?
My big one was the Houston Texans over the Jags.
Yeah.
Massive.
Did not see that coming.
No, and for rookie quarterback, CJ Stroud, last week he looked really good. Threw over 300 yards and looked like he was probably starting to get the pace of the game again, or back to what he looked like in college. And then to come out, they were 7.5 point underdogs against the Jags, and they did him by 20. They completely controlled the game. He was just really good, and the Jags are in a bit of a hole now. So
I had that as well, and also Ravens Colts.
Ravens Colts, yes. That one the weather wasn't great there, so that was a bit wet and a bit wild, but
still, madness.
You look at the stats, and Lamar actually had a reasonably good game, ran the ball really well, and they did pretty much what they needed to do, what they would do, but they just couldn't really get the ball into the red zone. Just kind of, stifled at the 50-yard line every time. So Lamar had their only 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had 14 carries for 101 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, a big day, but
apart from that, he didn't turn the ball over. He lost a fumble, but he didn't throw any interceptions. But Minshew just did what he needed to. 27-44, 227 yards and a TD.
And didn't throw the ball away.
No, he didn't.
And then the Texans we said the Texans, Arizona
upsetting Dallas.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, 11.5 point underdogs there. So it would have been nice if you jumped on the money line there. But Josh Dobbs, he's playing. He's playing a contract, I reckon. Someone's going to be like, well, this guy just kind of controls the game, doesn't fuck it up, does what he needs to. 17 to 21 today. That's all you need. And he had 6 rushes for 55 yards.
Yeah.
So,
what was your game of the week?
Game of the week, I think these teams seem to be in it a lot, but I had the Minnesota Vikings versus LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Another good game.
I think, did we say that was our game of the week or Red Zone Special, one of the two?
Yeah, it was one of the two. I could probably tell you, but I thought those two teams are pretty even, and they kind of do similar things. They like to throw the ball, run the score up. We did have it as our game of the week, so
look at us
go us.
But the nerds would have been frothing over Herbert.
He did have a very big day.
Let me, I've just got his stats.
40 of 47 for 400 and 3 TDs. He had a huge day. The weird thing is that it wasn't higher scoring than it was. 24 to 28, I think, was the final score. And you look at those stats and you probably think it's going to be a massive score, in the 30s or the 40s. But massive. 40 of 47, 405 yards and 3 TDs.
Yeah.
So,
and no interceptions.
Yeah.
That's a clean game.
Yeah, it is. And Kirk Cousins, 32 of 50 for 367, 3 TDs and 1 interception. That interception's on the last play. So he was trying to throw it into the end zone to get the win.
If the NFL 10 years ago had a website like Fan Footy, he would start the game with the garbage can next to him.
He was actually pretty good today, give him credit, but he does like to rack the yards up in the second half.
My game of the week was Dolphins Broncos.
Far out. That Dolphins offense is legit. That is ridiculous. To put 70 up on a team, that's college numbers. That is... I couldn't believe it. I woke up...
I thought they were playing US Army at one point.
I got up this morning, at 4:45 to chuck it on, and I chucked it on, and it was 35 to 7 or something, and then they scored, and they scored again, and all the other games weren't that great, so I went back to bed, and I was I woke up again, it was 70. It was 70 up on them. That's ridiculous. You look at their running backs, I think it was Mostert and A-Chain. I had A-Chain on my bench in fantasy.
250 yards worth of receiving and rushing in 4 TDs.
That's a huge day.
Did this with no Waddle.
Yeah. Massive game.
And it's not like Russell Wilson didn't have a bad game.
No, not a bad game.
They could not stop Miami at all.
Couldn't stop him. I think we were listening to the pod today, last week's pod, to get our tips, and I said, Miami's offense, they're just rolling. Jesus, they are rolling absolutely downhill with some serious pace right now. So I think we'll cover it shortly, but next week's game is going to be a really interesting game. Probably going to be our game of the week, I would have thought, with Miami and Buffalo. But they're looking like a really scary team. If you can't put up 30 points and you can't defend, like you've got no chance of beating him at the minute because Tua's just in that zone. Looks like Alabama took Tua.
Fucking judo Tua.
Yeah, he's learned how to fall when he's a whole new man.
Anything else that you liked?
I thought it was really impressive from Jordan Love and Green Bay to come back in the last quarter. So down 17-0 in the last quarter, come back and win 18-17. Really mature win.
Yeah.
Huge win for them. And the other one was Cleveland, just completely flexing on Tennessee, who are probably a very similar team to them in the way they play.
So they had to bounce back after losing to Pittsburgh last week.
They did, and they did it really well. They completely stifled Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He had nothing.
Their defense is legit though.
Yeah, Myles Garrett's just a guy that's just a beast and no one can really stop him.
Well, should we get into, when we go tips?
Let's go tips. Alright.
Oh.
Friday game. We've got Detroit at Green Bay. It's a tough one. This could make or break early.
Only go Green Bay.
I've got Green Bay too.
Yeah. Take it safe there, I think.
Just so you know, this is the London game. Atlanta at Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is also my toilet bowl shitter of the week. Atlanta, Jacksonville. I am taking Jacksonville.
So am I.
Yeah. I can't take Atlanta.
I kind of want to change. No, I'm taking Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Miami at Buffalo. Huge one.
In Buffalo, what's the current weather like? Is it starting to get a little bit cold?
I swear it's always cold there. It wouldn't be that cold yet. It would be just regular, balmy. I'm going Miami.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll go Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm just going with what I know. Buffalo were pretty good. So it's going to be a really fun game. I think that's probably going to be our game of the week. So really looking forward to that one. I might get up at 2:30 and watch that one. Public holiday over here.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
my birthday that day, so.
Oh, a little drop.
Alright. Oh, geez, this is your toilet bowl. Take back the the Atlanta, Jacksonville, Denver at Chicago. The over/under might be 12, and I'll take the under. And I'm taking Denver.
Denver.
Yeah. At least they put up 20 points.
I'm taking Chicago, and this is Russ's last start.
Yeah, if Chicago lose, it could be Fields' last start. They need a running. They're not running him. They just sitting him in the pocket.
Both 0-3.
Yeah. No, Denver. Oh, did Denver win week 1?
Yes, maybe. Yeah. Against Seattle, maybe. Anywho, doesn't matter. I'm going to take Chicago.
Alright, Denver for me. Baltimore at Cleveland, another big one. Interconference games, these ones are always a shit fight.
Yeah.
Teams are going to come away pretty sore, which is maybe what Baltimore, they're kind of like a bit of a look ahead week and, let it slip. So Baltimore at Cleveland. Go on your Browns?
I am going the Browns. I think, as you said, they defended so well today. I think they just stopped their running game.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland as well. Cincy at Tennessee. Obviously, we haven't seen Cincy this week yet.
No.
Tennessee were not super impressive.
They were not.
Ryan Tannehill is on his last legs. This could be his last start.
This could be a monster Henry game.
I think he'll need to be big because I just don't think that Tannehill's got it.
I feel like with my
Cincy.
with my 2-week lead, I feel like I can be a little bit flirty with some of these games.
Yeah, you bastard.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee.
Alright. Rams at Indianapolis.
I'm going to take the Rams.
I got the Colts.
Yep.
I think Anthony Richardson comes back. Tampa at New
Why
Orleans.
take the job off Gardner? 2-0.
Just warming the seat.
Tampa at New Orleans. Once again, hard because Eagles play Tampa tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm going to take Tampa.
Go on New Orleans.
I've got heaps of different ones this week.
Yeah. Washington at Philly.
Philly.
Me too.
Yeah, easy.
Minnesota at Carolina.
Minnesota.
Carolina
are shit.
They were up at halftime against Seattle and we're pretty close with them, but I'm taking Minnesota. Pittsburgh at Houston.
Pittsburgh. Easy.
Taking Houston.
Yeah, here we go. No better against Kenny.
Vegas at the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers. These two, I reckon those two teams are very similar and they just fuck it up all the time.
This next one could be a soccer score.
Yeah, New England at Dallas. It's inside though.
But 2 elite defenses.
Yeah.
I didn't take Dallas, so
I'm taking Dallas as well. Arizona at San Fran.
San Fran.
We'll see how good Josh Dobbs really is.
Yeah,
I'll take San Fran as
tough.
well.
Kansas City at
Zach Wilson's Jets.
At the Jets.
Yeah, KC.
In that freezing shithole of a stadium that we've been in before.
Gee, I reckon this will be like 2 weeks in a row where Mahomes might only have to play a half.
Yeah.
Definitely KC.
Could be blowout.
And then the Monday night football, Seattle at the New York Giants. Bit of an entertaining one, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Seattle.
I'm not loving what I've seen from New York.
Nah, it was pretty ugly.
I thought they were going to be a little bit better. You spoke about it, I think, in the pre-season previews. Like, they won a lot of close games last year.
Yeah, and Jones just...
He's not looking that great, is he?
His first half has been really bad.
I'm taking Seattle as well.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's go. So what's game of the week? There's a few to choose from this week.
Yeah, it's Miami Buffalo.
It's got to be Miami Buffalo. In a conference, in a division, sorry. So that's going to be massive.
I am also looking forward to New England, Dallas, just for...
I think there's a few this week. Like
I just want that for Bill and Cousin Sow.
Yeah, that would be good. So yeah, you got Miami, Buffalo, Baltimore, Cleveland. Like you said, the New England, Dallas. So a couple of good ones. Red Zone Special.
Red Zone Special, I like.
I'm going to go on a whim and I'm going to say, the London game's always shit.
I know, that's what I was like, teams that could put up points.
If that was in America, I'd say that one. I'm actually going to go the Rams, Indianapolis.
Yeah,
I think that one could be a good one. Vegas
I'm going to take
Chargers.
Cincy, Tennessee.
Cincy, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Vegas and Chargers probably could be a run-em-up score.
What is your Portaloo game of the week?
Oh yeah, it's Denver, Chicago by a mile.
Yeah.
That's like a site toilet, that one. No one's flushed it in a while.
They're not good.
Yeah.
You're probably right. And then Atlanta Jags is probably your next pick, I would say.
Yeah. All right, let's move off the NFL. So Bobby Shiraz ended up running on the Saturday at
Sorry
Toowoomba.
for everybody that got involved dabbling on Bobby, ruining multis and being an all-round.
Couldn't even get third for us. So what?
I re-listened to a part of the podcast from last week and you said, he'll probably get fourth. So, fuck you. You put the mockers on him.
Alright.
There's excuses coming out.
What did the punters say?
The punters said Glue Factory.
Oh, did they?
Oh, sorry, the punter.
The group, the owners.
The owners group and trainer.
You happy with the run?
No, Bjorn was a little bit disappointed. He thought he would have liked to see a little bit more. We had Jimmy Orman on board, good jockey, and he was on board for his first up win.
I didn't think he rode him that well.
He said he was sort of sitting 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to be in that group ahead.
Yeah. He just couldn't get there.
Just couldn't get there. It settled back. He wants blinkers on and a little bit further.
Yep.
So just all bullshit horse trainer talk for the shitloads of excuses and hopefully nothing. Yeah.
Basically.
They're going to look for a 2,000 metre race, and if he doesn't show anything in that, I'm getting a little bit of deal with me flashbacks.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one didn't work out. I definitely thought, like, from the last race that we've watched, like the couple that he's had, they just haven't had the speed on, and like the speed hasn't been on, so I thought they need to move him up a little bit earlier. But
I was like,
because we know he comes home strong, so he's a stayer, so like why don't you just start him a little bit earlier?
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like he had good position on the turn, and he peeled out into so much fresh air. I was like, oh, fucking giddy up, he's going to get a run here, and he had a run.
Yeah.
Just gave nothing.
Yeah.
So sorry to everybody that got on board.
Yeah. Next week.
We'll cop that one on
he
the
running
chin.
again? Do we know?
Probably a couple of weeks.
Yeah, give him a break.
Maybe a jab.
Get some confidence back.
Little finger.
Get him a Sheila.
get a little bit of he needs a little pep in his step.
Yeah, he does. Alright, I think you probably saw during the week we put a couple of TipTitans pick of the weeks up, so we'll put them on Insta throughout the week. Just makes it a little bit easier for the boys when they're putting their tips out. They haven't done all their research by this time of the week, so there'll definitely be a grand final special for sure, and then we'll have an NFL special as well.
I just seen a news article that I'm not too happy about.
What's that?
Assistant coach Nathan Bassett will depart Port Adelaide after being advised his contract will not be renewed for 2024.
Oh, there you go. Interesting. Is
I
he
like
forwards or backs coach?
He's the forwards coach.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I'm a bit sad about that.
Interesting. We probably should cover the Tigs announced their coach
Ooh.
during the week. Adam Uze taking the helm next year. I'm pretty
Do you hear what he said though?
No.
About his thoughts on where they should be next year?
I haven't actually watched it.
It was lofty.
Oh, you got it.
It was lofty.
They still got a pretty good list. You get Tom Lynch and Gibcus back. They're two really big ins for us. We didn't have a forward to kick to.
That is very true.
So I think those two will be really good. I think it would be good to have him because I think he'll shore us up forward of the footy, something a little bit different. We'll probably use the ball a lot different. It won't be as predictable as we have been in the last couple of years. So didn't really change too much in the last couple of years.
I heard I need a bit of advice from you.
Alright, this is life advice.
Nah, this is life advice. Nah. Brownlow tonight, obviously.
Yep.
I don't mind the old which player gets the most votes for each team.
Yes.
There's one team that's causing me a lot of problems.
Who's that?
It's Carlton.
Tank. Who's the favourite?
Kerno.
Charlie. Yeah, he gets guaranteed 6 votes from Bags against West Coast. A couple other games.
Like Cripps is the worry.
Yeah.
Just because he polls well.
Yeah. What's Cripps pay?
I can't tell you off the top of my head. But when he won the Brownlow, he expected to get 22 votes, polled 29. So
yeah.
Does poll very well. I just don't like key forward. I love key forwards, but it's a midfielder's medal.
It is. Interesting. How big's your multi?
Oh, it'll be a few leagues.
Yeah. We used to get into you'd save a game in the memory bank, put it in the notes.
We used to have the Brownlow. We used to have a little Facebook group.
Yeah, if you watch the full game, you're allowed to put your vote in and be like, yeah, this bloke's got
3 flames was a lock, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we haven't done it in a while.
No, that was a good exercise. That was before they had the limits on week to week votes. Thanks, umpires.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, enjoy the Brownlow tonight as always. Gamble responsibly.
Calm, butters. Give us something to cheer about.
Yeah, well, have fun. Enjoy the red carpet. I know Tom will. So we'll see you next week after the granny.
See yas.
Go Lions.